So, if you've been around long enough, you would know that I've been redesigning the main 6. Not because I think I can do better or anything, I really like MLP. I've already redesigned Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and Pinkie Pie in previous videos. So with only 2 ponies left, we're nearing the end of this. Right? We're almost done. So with that, let's start with everyone's favorite socially anxious character to kin, Fluttershy. When looking for motivations on my own designs, I love to look at other people's characters to find that spark. But where can I go to find a place filled with thousands of awesome character designs just waiting to be seen? Oh yeah, let's talk about Unveil, the sponsor of today's video. Unveil is a character sharing and organizing site with over 200,000 users, with each user having super cool and unique characters to explore. Unveil lets you upload your characters to your very own profile, put up a full gallery of showcase art, and you can jot down notes and anecdotes on what make up your character's lore. I know you're just dying to tell people about the traumatic things you put your OC through for the sake of character development. I see you. You wonderfully creative monster. You know your art is safe when you're using this platform because they are 100% anti-AI and never NFT. As per usual, I am always on the lookout for a cool character design to admire, so to get the newest updates, I like to go on Unveil's community page. Here you'll find live updates on new users who've joined the platform. There are super sick designs being uploaded every single day, just waiting for you to take a look. So what you waiting for? Join me and literal thousands of other artists on Unveil to organize your creativity and stay safe while doing so. Click the link in the description to join Unveil today. Thank you so much once again to Unveil for sponsoring this video. So if you know anything about me, I love alternative fashion, specifically anything in,
forgive my watered down internet terminology, but anything like grungy, punky, sort of like gothic type fashion is kind of my vibe.
And because of that, it took everything in me not to do a redesign of Fluttershy's bat form. Maybe I'll just make a Halloween edition of this series. I think that overall, Fluttershy's original design suits her very soft voice and demeanor, but I'd like to make a few smaller changes that kind of just make sense to me, And if you've been watching my previous videos on this series, you would know that I've been giving each character like one item that they would use on the daily. When I'm attempting these redesigns, I'm trying to imagine something that could possibly be in the show, even though I do think I went a little bit too crazy with this one. Something you might have noticed is that I quite literally snatched Applejack's hairstyle and slapped some bows on it and gave it to Fluttershy. I talked a little bit about it when I did my redesigning for Applejack, but I just do not think that Applejack's hair design suits her in any way. I think that her lifestyle of being rough and tough and moving around and stuff, that I did not mean to make that rhyme. It just doesn't suit that hair. I think it would just get in the way. And I think that for Fluttershy, it is a much better fit because I feel like her animals would want to get comfy and cozy in this really long hair. And the cutesiness of it is much more akin to what Fluttershy looks like. Like that. That's just how I feel, gang. But in putting those bows in her hair, I brought some more green into her design, which is something that I've always kind of thought was missing from her design, and really from all of the main 6, is that there's not really any characters that have green in them. But I did give her 2 items instead of the usual 1 that I've been doing for this series, because I kind of forgot that I was limiting myself to 1, and it kind of did make this turnaround a little bit harder to do, but whatever. Originally, this kind of like handkerchief sack pouch thing around her neck was supposed to be the only item. It's going to be holding all of her little tiny creatures, whichever one wants to be in there, and at the moment, Angel Bunny is in there. I just think it's something that she would use every day, Speaking of her animals, I gave her cutie mark more animals. She takes care of animals, that's like her thing, and if it's just butterflies, it's like, what about the rest of the gang? But yeah, it's a little bit ugly. I'm not the proudest of this cutie mark, but have you seen some of the other cutie marks in the show, gang? It's not that bad, okay? When Fluttershy was little, she was lanky, and I think it's kind of weird that when she grew up, she didn't keep that lankiness. And like I say in every single video of this series that I do, they keep the body shape the exact same for all of the main 6 for the doll ability of it. The ability to just make dolls that are the same so that you can just print different patterns on them to save money. I understand that. But I don't care. And I think it would be better if she was tall and lanky like she was when she was a kid, because it's not like that would just disappear, right? And the biggest change that I made to her design was that I made her an amputee, because when she was a little kid, she could not fly, at all, and I think falling from the sky repeatedly could injure her to the point of, losing a limb, and I just think that makes it a little bit more accurate. And now she has some lore. some trauma. I really like all the changes that I made to Fluttershy's design. I think that I didn't do anything too super duper crazy besides, you know, just completely snatching Applejack's hairstyle. But yeah, that's Fluttershy's full redesign. I really like how it turned out, but you know, don't look too closely at the hair. Yeah, I really like this. What do you guys think? And finally, the moment that you've been waiting for. The main pony of the main six. The princess... spoilers, but you know, the show has been out for 15 years. If you haven't seen it already, it's kind of your own fault. Princess Twilight.
I fear I may have accidentally saved the two crazy anxious characters for the end of the series. Sorry, gang.
Although socially anxious in her own way, Twilight is seriously such a cool character. I do have to admit though, she did kind of piss me off as a kid for some reason. If it wasn't obvious by how I carry myself, I was and still am very much so a Rainbow Dash kinda they. And I don't know why, but I found Twilight to be irritating at some moments. You know, like obviously of course I still wanted to be her, she was so cool-coded, but like... Rainbow Dash is my #1 and I'll stand by that. But when it comes to this redesign, I wanted her to have glasses because... nerd. I also decided to tie her hair up in a bun and give her bangs some braids. I honestly don't know why I decided to go with this little braid motif, but I think it's really cute, so I'm just gonna run with it. I was really inspired by that I think it was a shampoo ad that she had, and she just was like actually serving so much cunt. Do y'all remember that ad? Like, I can't be the only one. One really important change that I made was in her patterns. I gave her patterns similar to Princess Luna because she also has this star galaxy motif. And speaking of galaxy, I wanted to put a literal galaxy, like stars, constellations, and stuff, in the darker parts of her body pattern, but you know, opted out because it was a little bit too much to do for a turnaround, like to make sure that every single star was in the right place as I'm doing these 8 drawings for this turnaround. It was just a little bit too much. I would have kept it in otherwise though, so. For her cutie mark, I decided to make it a little bit more symmetrical and interesting, while also keeping the white sparkles that represent the other members of the main 6. Honestly, I'm not completely sold on the design that I did for her cutie mark, but it's a lot better than what the original looked like. I just think it's a little bit of an improvement. I was thinking about making her object or like item a book bag, but you know, I was teetering between the glasses and the book bag and just ended up opting out for the easiest one to draw. In general, I kind of struggled with the values of this design. In the darker parts of her body pattern, it was kind of getting a little bit too similar in value to what her hair was, and it was just kind of muddling the design if I'm being honest. So I did lighten that up a little bit to, you know, give that value difference between the hair and her body. I wanted to make her a little bit more blue, but I couldn't really figure out how to do it while still making her look like Twilight. Honestly, I do really like her color scheme, so it's not like the biggest deal to me, but you know. Yeah, this is Twilight's full redesign. Again, it's just minor changes, but it's the little things that count, okay? What do you think about it? Are my changes warranted, or are you gonna burn me at the stake? Please don't. You thought I was done with my redesigns? Nay. Get it? Cause like, pony and like, nay. We still have to do an Equestria girl redesign, come on. Who do you think I am? You know, one thing that I've really never been too fond of in the Equestria girl designs is that all of them wear skirts. And like, I don't know about you, but even back in like, what, 2013? Holy f***, 2013. I feel that it was rare to see like a high school girl that was like actually wearing a skirt. I think they did this to make the show more appealing to like a younger quote unquote feminine audience because, you know, when I was a kid, it kind of worked in a way. I really and truly thought that high school was gonna be like Equestria girls, dude.
Alas, high schooling was not, in fact, filled with magical fights to the death in a parallel universe.
Goddamn, I wish. But anyways, I feel like the skirts were a way to push the traditional girly feel, and I didn't want to get rid of that completely, so for Twilight's design, I decided to give her those pants that, like, you know, have so many pleats that they look like a skirt, but they still function like pants. And you know, I feel like the pleats in the pants really helped sell the academia vibe that I really wanted to go for her because, you know, Twilight. Nerd. Outside of that, I kept her outfit kind of simple, giving her like a sweater with a wide shoulder and a collar popping out and some loafers to complete the look. I decided to keep the same braid motif that I had, motif that I had for her pony design, but I wanted to take that hairstyle and loop it into a bun.
Again, taking that from her pony redesign, but
what I did different for this one was that I made her bun look like a kind of like a rolled up scroll with those 2 strands at the bottom sticking out, not only to balance the shape of the design of the hair, but also to make it look like ribbon ties to said scroll. And you know, those 2 strands at the bottom could also be interpreted as a representation of her wings, and that's, you know, in fact why I added them in the first place, but I couldn't really find a way to reference her horn in her design without literally just giving her a horn. Let me know what you think about them in the comments. I would actually really love to hear. One cute little thing that I did was I gave her glasses pearls as the chain to sort of emulate stars, and I thread them through her hair to make it look like there was a galaxy of stars going through her very bright and multicolored hair. I knew from the very beginning that I wanted Fluttershy's outfit to be primarily green. I mean, we've already got a character that's entirely pink. I mean, heck, it's even in the name, so we don't need another Pinkie Pie pony. Literally. Little tidbit for you. Fluttershy's outfit was very heavily inspired by an outfit that I own actually myself. And I thought that the hoodie would fit so well because I could put the bunny in it just like in her pony redesign that I did. You probably saw me a little bit earlier lining up some sketches for all of my Equestria Girl redesigns, just to sort of kind of compare the heights of all of them. Because, you know, when I'm thinking about it, I'm always thinking, oh, this character is tall and this character is short, but I've never really compared them all, like, next to each other. But yeah, I really like these redesigns. So, that's it, huh? The last of the main 6. Surely there's no more ponies that could ever be redesigned, right? Like, not an analog of side characters that people love and are obsessed with, right? Right? Just like in all the previous videos in this series, I have been doing My Little Pony background studies.
Like, look at what I've done. I really like doing these little backgrounds. They're so fun and cutesy, and you can't really see any of them because they're hidden behind the speed paint, so like, look at them.
I love them. Just a little update, I'm currently setting up a Patreon, a Discord, and setting up my commissions for Regen, so I've got some things coming your way, and oh my god, how do you set up a Discord? Also, side note, thank you so much to everyone that attacked me on Art Fight. You'll notice that none of the attacks that I received are being shown in this fan art showcase, and that's just because I'm working on a video all about my first experience with Art Fight, and I kind of want to keep all the attacks that I got special for that video. But yes, thank you so much to all of you who have made me fan art, and if you want me to put your fan art in my videos, remember to tag me on whatever social media platform I'm on. Also, when talking about commissions, I was thinking about opening like a subset commission type where I do turnarounds, because I really like doing these turnarounds, and it's a really great thing to have in your portfolio, so I want to do more of them, you know? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye bye!